So today we're going to talk about your running gait. What does a running gait actually mean? Well, it just refers to the way your foot lands on the ground as you're running and the way the rest of your body is moving as well. If we start at the bottom of your body and think about your feet, your running gait is basically the way your foot lands on the ground. So some people will land in a neutral position, some people will land on the outside of the foot, and some people will land on the inside of the foot. Landing on the outside or the inside of your foot, depending on how severe that is, can lead to some injuries, and the best thing you can do to prevent that is to go and have a gait analysis done. Now obviously currently with the sports shops not open and that kind of thing, that's going to be difficult to do, so that will be your first port of call. If you have been suffering with any injuries that you think are related to your running, but you haven't actually had a running gait analysis done in a sports shop, and perhaps you just bought some trainers from the shop without any advice, then a good place to start is just by looking at the soles of your trainers. If you notice that they're particularly worn down on the inside or the outside or on the heel, it could mean that you're not wearing the correct trainer for your running style. So putting the trainers to one side for a minute now and presuming that you are confident you're wearing the right trainers for the way your foot lands on the ground, we're just going to go over a few tips for things that you can do just to tweak the way you do run and make you into a more efficient runner. Massively altering your running style can be tricky to do because a lot of it is to do with just the way you're made up, the way your bones and joints are formed, and the way you've learnt to run from being a small child. I know lots of people that don't have a particularly smooth looking running style, but they're still able to run very far and very fast, so perhaps it's not worth meddling with that too much. But there are little things that we can all work on that would make us a more efficient runner, so let's go over those now. The first thing we can think about is your stride length. One way to minimise the chance of injury is to avoid overstretching and taking a really long stride, but rather to take a slightly shorter stride so that your foot is landing underneath your body, but then to try and turn your legs over a little bit quicker, which means increasing your cadence. The second thing you can pay some attention to is your body position. So if you think about somebody like Alistair Brownlee running, he's very, very upright, straight, not slumped forwards at all. So if you try and keep your body in an upright position, somebody once also said to me to imagine that someone has tied a rope around your hips and is pulling you forwards from your hips. And the minute you do that, you feel like you're running more upright and more efficiently. The next thing to think about is running using your arms as well. You think you really only need your legs to run, but in actual fact, if you use your arms properly in a good pumping motion, opposite arm to leg going forwards and backwards, you'll find you move forwards much more effectively, particularly when it comes to running uphill. The next thing to focus on is how much you're lifting your knees up. Particularly if you're running off-road, it's really important to lift your feet because if not you're going to trip up. Your legs actually want to move in a circular motion, a little bit like as if you were riding a bike. We've got some running drills that you can use as part of your warm-up before you set off for a run in a separate video, which I'll post the link to in the description for this video. If you did those 3 drills prior to setting off for a run, hopefully then you would find you are lifting your knees up more and also lifting your heels at the back. Focusing on this idea of moving your legs in a circular motion, there's a useful drill that you can do as well prior to setting off for your runs, which I was given a couple of years ago when I injured my hip in a car accident. What you basically want to do is stand facing a patio door or somewhere that you can see your reflection, and then almost like a horse pawing the ground, you're going to move your leg in a circular motion, bringing your knee up to the front and then moving your leg round to the back like this. So that's it, they're the 4 things for you to focus on. Your stride length and how quickly you're turning your legs over, your body position, using your arms whilst you're running, and your legs just going forwards and backwards, not kicking out to the side. Let us know how you get on.